so in love with you. You got me down again.
And we are live. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Is it working? Is it not working? It is. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for joining the stream, man. And welcome to the Extra Life, Extra Gaming, Disco. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Godric, such a nice job. Well done, buddy. You kept it going for like 4 hours? Crazy, man. I struggled to keep it for 2 hours, so well done, man. Well done. We reached our goal already, so I made a new goal. Let's try and hit that 2,000. Why don't we do that? Sounds good? I think it does. Sorry, Lem. I took the liberty of scratching it out quickly on my screen. Yeah, the more money we can get, the better. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so stoked we reached our goal already. This is going to make the kids so happy, and it's going to be so good for the kids. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Just check in the chat. You'll see Tiny Mice that dropped the links there. So please, if you guys want to donate, it goes to a good cause. You know, like, just skip on one PS5 title, you'll be fine. Or, you know, like, just wait and just donate. All right, cool. Let's jump straight into it. I had something else planned, and then the boys kind of like forced my hand onto Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so I think we're going to do that. I do not promise we're going to get any photos. I do have quite a few photos that we're going to edit in Lightroom. Today, we're going to do a little bit of gaming, and then majority of the time is going to be spent inside of Lightroom. So I will be using Lightroom CC and not Lightroom Classic. Lightroom Classic is a bit more advanced. Lightroom CC is easy to pick up. If you don't have Lightroom, I would recommend getting it. A lot of people don't really believe in editing their photos, but I think it's definitely something that will enhance your virtual photography quite a bit. Again, if you don't want to edit, it's completely up to you. I think Adobe's got a trial anyway, so you can do a 7-day trial if you want. 7 or 14 days, I'm not quite sure. And yeah, so we're going to be editing in Lightroom a bit later, and I'll show you a few tips and tricks. And besides that, let's jump into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh, it closed. So give me 2 seconds, and then we jump right in. I had another game lined up, but Valhalla it is. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Stretch the screen, and there we go. Welcome to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So, I can't say too much. All I can say is I am having such a rad time with this game. The photo mode is pretty much what you guys had, or what we had for Odyssey. That's the latest one, not Origins. Yeah, it was Origins and then Odyssey. So it's pretty much the same as Odyssey. The range is less. But when I say less, not by too much, just like a little bit. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my controller to work. So the range is a little bit less. I just need to load the right one. Right, that should be good. So obviously, I don't want to show you guys too much of the story as well. I want to try and avoid that. because Assassin's Creed isn't very known for their story, and a lot of people dive quite deep into the lore. I mean, if that's what you want to do, yeah, for sure. I just play it and take photos, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna do too much story. If there's any dialogue, excuse me, but I am going to skip right past it. If I can't skip right past it, I'll just talk over it or whatever it might be. Yeah. Okay, I am just enabling my hot sampling. I also have a little cheat engine code that I'm working with as well. So if you guys are playing on PC, you should be able to, I think within the first few days, Mr. Franz Boma is probably going to have some tools ready for you guys anyways. So that would be cool. It always helps, gives us more range, do some cinematic capture, etc, etc. So definitely going to be worth the wait. Okay, cool. Let me do this. Let me know if the music is a bit too loud or too soft in the background. I'll fight a bit and then you can let me know. Yeah, Franz's tools are so worth it. Not gonna punt it here. So before you buy the tools, donate first and then buy the tools. How's that? Alright guys, so I'm not gonna mission around too much here. We are still in Norway, so we haven't made our way to England yet. As far as I can remember, I can pretty much show you the whole of Norway without getting into trouble. I'm just gonna jump into the photo mode here. So I have a script enabled at the moment that will allow me to go further away, but you guys, normally your range is around about here. You got all the regular options as you do in the same in Odyssey. So you have a few filters up there. If you guys checked out my stream, I did highlight these as well. I'm not a big fan of filters because I actually do editing afterwards. So I try and keep the photo as neutral as possible, unless I am trying to create something that's on a black background. So if you see any of those portraits where there's a nice light shining on the face, normally like kind of weird obstructed light with a black background, I'll probably do some tweaks in the photo mode itself. But as far as it go, I'd normally try and keep my settings in the photo mode as neutral as possible. So I don't try... Yes, I'm going to get to that now, Godric. I'm going to get to the grids. I'm going to get to the grids, my friend. So yeah, I try and keep it as neutral as possible. So from there to edit, it just makes it easier. If you put too much contrast and too much saturation in from the beginning, and if you use filters, then you're very limited when you go into post-production. It is fine if you don't have editing, then by all means. There's some people that do some crazy stuff with photo modes and the filters that, like, I don't even know how they do it. And those guys are just... they're just beyond me. I can't do that. I have no idea how they do that, and mad respect, because I can't. So I edit. At least I can do that. Alright, Godric, so let me just rotate back here. So guys, ignore the range. You will have considerably less range in yours. I actually want to see if I can capture some photos that I can edit and use for set tonight. So I did enable my script. As it goes for the grids, you actually have a few. So you have a center one, which is like a crosshair, as you can see. Pretty much. Then we have this one, which is quite nice. You can get some nice spiral stuff out of it as well, so you can do quite a unique composition with this one. I've seen it work in the past. I've used it in the past before as well, and it does help for different types of composition. So especially want to do more top down stuff, you can do that as well. So with regards to the camera, you got a full tilt, well, 90 degrees tilt both ways. So this grid is actually quite nice for that as well. The next grid is just your normal standard grid we all know, and as Assassin's Creed normally, or UB normally do their grids, it does fade out to the sides, which is perfectly fine. You just need to see your 4 points and your line, so then you can pretty much work it around from there. Let me just put my phone over there so I can keep note of the chat as well. Okay, and then next up we have multi-grid. So I have mixed thoughts on this. I do think you can probably find a use for it if you are heavy OCD. This thing is going to drive you crazy because yeah, you're going to have a tough time focusing with this on the screen and trying to align each block. What's the mistake they made in Odyssey and launch? Oh yeah, I remember the photo mode in Odyssey didn't have any grids and it was super limited. I think it had a 45-degree tilt as well, if I'm not mistaken. So this thing is weird. And then obviously we go back to the crosshair. Sometimes I actually end up using the crosshair more, especially when I align. This thing is super nice for portraits, guys. Like really super nice for portraits. I guess it can be useful if you want something straight and only straight shots. Yeah, I do think that the one with the multi-grid could be super useful for architectural shots. If you want to make sure everything is straight, anything from your trees to your building lines. So if you do, let me do a bit of a showcase here as well and see how we can use this one. So let's say, for example, so again, ignore the range. The range is not what you're gonna have. So don't go crazy and be like, oh, look at the range. This is Chris's special range that you're getting. This is Chris's limited edition, ChrisInSession limited edition range. You can get this range easy by donating 50 USD. Right now. Alright, so this is where I think this grid can actually... Ooh, look at the range. Yeah, so Godric, the range is not what the range is actually like. Trust me. This is a cheat range. So I think this is where it can actually work quite nicely, because you can try and see if you can get your trees aligned as well as your building lines. So it's actually probably going to be nice for architectural stuff. Yeah, so ignore the range, guys, because let's see. This area is super nice. It's still early days in the campaign as well. I think I'm going to try and see if I can capture something from this side. Maybe a bit up higher. Yeah, these mountains are awesome. You're going to see... I'm going to see if we can get on a boat and then do some sailing in between the mountains. The draw distance is okay. The LODs are okay, but it does become a bit of a popcorn festival after you start going away too far. But you guys will never be able to get this far unless you actually are on the PC and you later get some tools or do a range hack of some kind. do like this building though. Like, that's why I actually saved here. I wanted to do something with the building. Was just not sure what. Because I really do like what's happening with the building here. I'm just not quite sure. A popcorn festival. Yeah, so you know when the graphics like pop in and out of the screen? Popcorn festival. Make sense? You can see some of the trees there in the background already starting to do it. We can hide some of that with... Oh yeah, this might work. Might work. I am also running reshade at the moment. So I am not using the in-game depth of field. I will however use the fog setting. Just to get rid of those trees in the background, which I really don't like. And now we can actually see if we can make use of this multi-grid without going crazy. Try and go back a bit more. Let me know if you guys like what you see, if you think this can actually work. I was happy with it. Taken so many shots already that I need to work through. Absolutely madness. So trying to get something different. There's quite a lot of people doing a lot of portrait stuff with Odyssey and Origins, and even a few guys that I've seen that's also got early access. Pretty much doing portraits as well. I'm not that good doing portraits just straight up in Assassin's Creed. I like more to focus on the landscape. The landscape and the architecture and beautiful scenery. Yes, it's probably a lot of people will argue that it is one of the easiest things to shoot. That is correct, it might be. But you can also spend a lot of time and try and do it correctly and try and do it nicely. Not that I am always doing that, but we try, right? Alright, so everything else I'm kind of happy with. I do think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of fog and then see how that affects the scene. So I think our character is way back there, so the fog, as far as I know, starts moving in. Your character is a point and then it moves closer towards your character. So I think if I want to capture fog on the building from this side, I probably need to move my character down to this side of the building so that we can have fog coming in from inside the cove between the mountains. So now you barely touch the fog and it's like everywhere. Although that's quite cool. It's like a super Witcher vibe to it as well. Does have like a super airy feel to it. I actually like it. That's cool, man. I am going to try a different setting and different time of day setting as well. I don't have time of day settings yet, so I'm just using the meditate feature. That is still here as well, so that switches you between morning and night. It's fine, but I assume as soon as France gets his hands on this, that will be a thing of the past as well. Right. Now I am going to add some reshade. So on landscapes, I feel you never really end up getting depth of field because you end up shooting with a very wide lens. So to do proper nice landscapes, you shoot anything from like 16mm, and then if you do architectural stuff indoors, you'll probably shoot like 14 to go super extreme. Nice thing about a 14mm lens is it makes your lines like super straight. So on landscape stuff, you'll probably stick with around about 16. You can probably get away with anything between 24mm and 16mm. And on that, without zooming in, which you're not really going to zoom in if you have that lens, because most of the time it's a prime lens. So you won't really have any depth of field. However, like, your background is not going to be super crisp. It's not really going to be like out of focus, like crazy out of focus. But it's not going to be like super. Maybe the mountains in the back, but nothing is going to be like that sharp. So that's pretty much what I'm trying to emulate. So the near plane here, we can probably do something. I mean, if you drop your lens, if you drop your f-stop, you should be able to get a few of these out of focus, but I don't think we're close enough to the trees in front here to actually blur them out completely. So what I want to do is I just want to put that subtle blur on the background. And you probably won't even notice it, but as soon as I put it off, you'll see. So you'll see it's pretty much just doing a little bit of fade on the back of the rocks there in the canyon. I also got a full mix sharpen on that just sharpens the edges, and I got a standard D-band on, so you don't get any debanding. I think I'm going to capture this shot to start with, and then I'm going to move it more this side. I'm going to meditate and try and do a night scene of this, or like just dusk, dawn, a dusk and a dawn of each. So let me hot sample this quickly. I'm hot sampling up to 8K. The reason why I hot sample, or why I prefer you hot sample if you edit, is because obviously the bigger your image, more quality, the more pixels, and the more room and wiggle room you have when you actually start editing the photo. Okay, that one's in the bag. Might as well capture this one just so it is on Assassin's Creed. Boom! And you can see my name. The depth of field in cases like that is more consequence of the focus distance than the length of the lens. Yes. Correct. Oh, it's Mick. Hey, Mick. Thanks for joining, man. It took me a while to actually just read, like, Mick, SP, the fourth focus. Right, so I'm gonna move this side. I'm gonna do a meditate and see if we can do the same one. The thing is, if I do shoot a it's fine. Like I was saying, Mick, if I do shoot this on like a 16mm lens, then I mean, I'm probably going to shoot it with my aperture wide open anyways. Or like, I'm going to shoot it like f16 or f8. And if I shoot with the prime, there's no zoom at all. If I capture a shot like this. I'm just going to hide him in here. So that means not much is really going to be in focus. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I wanted to do a meditation quick. Let's see what it looks like this time of day. Oh, this is also interesting. This with some fog can actually look quite nice. Might switch up the angle a little bit as well. Like try and get between the trees this side. Yeah, but then we get too much angle on it. I think I'm gonna come this side. Back where we were. Might be a bit dark, so in some cases I will brighten it a little bit. Like here, for example. We'll see what the fog does once we add it. Oh wow, this is creating a really cool look though. I can see what this is going to look like once we actually put this into Lightroom, because we can pull the shadows quite a bit, which will be super, super nice actually. Yeah, that's correct. But now, like now, I don't even gonna bother with anything of that, because the point is I just want to try and see if I can. Background's just gonna be black with a slight fade of the fog, which is nice. So you'll see at the top there I do have snow, so that irritates me a little bit in terms of composition. But again, I'm just gonna use a heel brush to get rid of that in Lightroom. So I pretty much, whenever I shoot, I shoot pretty much with editing in mind. A lot of people, like I said, don't like it, they don't believe in it, but yeah, I haven't met a real life photographer which will just go and take photos and just push it out like that. They'll definitely touch on it. Yeah, you can do 21:9. You can do 21:9 to remove the snow. It could look nice as well, I do think. I can try and do a hot sample of a 29:1:9 and see what that actually looks like. I normally just capture like 16:9. I hardly ever publish 21:9 anyways. I do different portraits though, but like normal shots. Let me see. I have a 21:9. I wonder how this is going to translate to you guys on the screen. So I can actually hot sample. The game hot samples quite nicely. I'm just waiting for the stream to update. But it looks stretch. Oh, that's nice. So it actually does show you. That's cool. Well, Mick, let's try that. Yeah, that's nice. You actually get way more of the trees in as well. But now it feels like I kind of want to get closer to the trees, and I kind of want to put a near blur on the trees. It almost feels like that will work quite nicely with something like that. That one tree is blocking a bit of the building, which is a little bit irritating. But like, this is quite cool. So I can either go closer to the trees, then push up my near depth of field. Try and get a little bit of blur on them, or I'll pull back. So I'm going to do two captures. Let's do the 21:9 as well. Also, I'll much rather just capture it at 21:9 and frame it. That's a nice thing when you can actually hot sample, so you don't have to overcompensate in your composition anyways, to just make sure you get everything in. The nice thing about hot sampling is you can also do portraits like this, so you don't have to tilt your head the whole time, which is super cool. Right, I'm gonna enable cinematic depth of field again. I'm gonna get focus on the building, and then I'm gonna push this up to 8, put it like 124. That's fine. And my near plane is the one I'm gonna play with now. As you can see, trees in front getting nicely blurred right now. Actually quite nice. Might have to come in a little bit just to cut that one off right there. I don't want to cut it off. Yeah, that's quite nice. Okay, I'm just gonna sample this to 6K, 21:9. And then I'm going to do a 16:9 as well. It does, it does. It's definitely looking like some kind of horror setting, right? It's got heavy Witcher vibes in it. Like, I'm getting a lot of Witcher vibes. I was doing some stuff earlier with the towers and going down the ocean a little bit in between the mountains, and it's, yeah, I started getting like super Witcher feels, you know, with the Watchtower and the Witcher 3. Okay, so I want to do the same. 16 by 9. Damn, Mick, that 21 by 9 actually looked really good. Thanks for the suggestion there. It actually came out quite nice. Actually like it way more than this. Oh yes, definitely. That one shot. That one that you like, Godric. That's the one you're talking about. That one was actually easy capture, by the way. It was just in terms of getting the light right, because there's a section in the game where lighting comes from the top, but it looks like someone just, it's kind of like a memory sequence, or like a dream sequence. So kind of like someone just tied a light at the top of his head, so whenever he walks, light is just there. But then when you get close to the door, you can start playing with that light, because there's a bit of light coming through as well, so you can get a nice half reflection. Quite good. You try hard enough. Okay, so I'm going to do this as well. Oh, you guys wanted to see Assassin's Creed? Not just one setting, so I'm going to try and get out of this as soon as I can. But I do like to spend my time on shots. Sometimes I'll just go and try and shoot as much as I can, but I actually like taking my time, not having to rush. Okay. Come on. Can do it. Take the picture. There we go. The machine does struggle sometimes when you hot sample to 8K. Not always super happy with you, especially with reshade and some filters on there as well. Doesn't quite enjoy it. Yay, new follower! Thank you so much for the follow. Big Raph 84. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream, by the way. We are doing an extra live stream, and we're doing it for the kids. I think it's in Wisconsin. So we already reached our goal of 1,500 USD. I just upped that to 2,000, so hopefully we can get that. Let's hope it works. I'm good, really good. It's been a good day. The guy's been working hard. Lem and the rest of the gametographers, Godric and Mick and all of them did a brilliant job. They kind of reached their goal like way before, and yeah, it's just awesome results. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work because it's like super flat. So let's just run away from here and see if we... What's up on the map? Whoop, I can't show you too much. Oh, another cool thing about the map is... You see that? Do you see that? That's cool, right? Like the 3D map. Trax, what's up? Thank you so much for joining the stream. Valhalla is not out yet. This is the early access that I am playing. Game is good. That game is really good. I can't say too much until the reviews actually come out, but I am having a lot of fun. I'm actually enjoying this more than I did enjoy Odyssey. Chris gets early access. Yeah, I try. Not always lucky enough, but sometimes. Alright, so that's where we're going. So we're gonna have to make a trek here around the mountains. And we need to get to that place. Yeah, Lem, you need to go sleep, dude. Okay, so I think probably gonna head this way. Am I right? Or heading that way? We'll make a climb. I think I've been through here before. And we'll go through the valley. Yes, I played Watch Dogs and I guess it's better than Watch Dogs 2. And that's it. It looks good. It looks good. It's super heavy at the moment. So it is it's not that optimized yet, but give it a while. Give it a while and Watch Dogs will get better. Watch Dogs will definitely get better. But it looks good. It looks good. They did RTX very well in the game. A lot of reflections, almost a bit too much at some cases. And if the lighting is right, if you hit it about 2 PM in the afternoon, it actually looks quite real. Not really, Godric. Like, it's two different games. Yes, they're both open world and there's a lot of stuff that cross over, but I can't even compare the two. I can't compare Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. Not back then and not now either. I've played both and I can't compare the two. Ooh, that's nice. That could work. That could work. The mountains are very edgy. Thought they would have done a little bit better with that, but well, Big Raf, if you like anything Vikings, you're definitely gonna like this, my friend. Trust me. Definitely gonna like this. I've also haven't had any issues with the game. Might have had one bug, but it was minor. Nothing to actually talk about, so. Yeah, I'm enjoying this. I think I'll put in my playtime. Let me see. 15 hours, 16 hours in it already. This is still in the beginning. This is about 3 hours into the game. Yeah, this is this one though. So this one is 254, but I think my latest one is like 15 hours, 24 minutes. But I can't really show you that stuff yet, so we're just missioning around in Norway. I can show you some stuff of England, so we'll probably, I think from here something happens and then we actually go to get on the boat and go over to England. But I just want to take a few more shots on the boat. So this town coming up is very cool as well. It's got some cool trees and stuff in it. I think when we get there. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to get back to work. Cool. Thank you so much for joining, Big Raf. I really do appreciate it, man. think this might actually like... Oh, also the music is on point, dude. Whenever you get into a new town or a town, play like cool tunes. It just gets you like in the mood. But then it stops. Exactly, then it stops. Still continues a little bit, so that's cool, actually. I think I want to see what this looks like. Am I going to meditate on my horse? You can meditate on the horse. That's brilliant. Just taking a nap on the horse. Nice. Love that. Do it again. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't change too much. I think it does change as soon as we go into a mission. So... I think it's new. I didn't even know you could do that. I was every time getting off my horse, and now I just tried it and it actually did it on the horse, so... Oh, this dude is... I need to kill this dude. He's one of the order people. Don't mind me. I'm just walking around. Alright. Never mind. He wasn't part of the order. I was mistaken. Anyways, he was a bad dude, so...
We are strong, Annie. Yeah.
Okay, so... Like I said, I'm gonna skip parts of this because I don't really want guys to do any of the... see any of the dialogue stuff.
Things you should know before you step into his camp. Walking unseen through hostile territory is an exercise in subtlety.
Ah, okay, I remember this. So, he's gonna give us some training.
A hood makes you forgettable, dismissed at a distance. Remain far from watchful eyes,
Blending
and you
in.
will be invisible to them. Do not draw blade or hammer.
He was a bad dude.
These and
He's a
other
bad
subtle
dude, man.
movements can break your disguise.
So, this building in front with the trees, I actually tried capturing yesterday. The lighting was a lot better than it was now, so I think I'll do the mission and then see if it changes. I think right after the mission the sun comes up and it's quite nice. So
In case I wasn't clear, you will need
I probably need to get editing as well. It's about an hour into the stream and I haven't even edited anything yet. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm just playing Assassin's Creed. Getting too into it.
Orm is there, in the camp ahead.
Nothing to see here.
What were you thinking? Drinking mead on an empty stomach? You have
The
to
guy's
eat
sick.
something before drinking that much. How does that go? Feed before meat. I have some roasted lamb on the spit. Eivor! You are good. You keep...
Yeah.
The old thing will have started.
Yes, this is what I was talking about. If I wait a bit longer. That's a story mode, yeah. Exactly. Don't ask me about the story. I don't know much about the story. Again, ignore the range. But then again, if you donate $50 right now, I'll give it to you. Maybe not. I will though. Donate first. Let's see. Yeah, the lighting isn't quite there. Yeah, you'll see when we start sailing right now. The water is good. Water is nice. I just need to get past this part so we can actually get on the longboat. I think I need to some fighting coming up. I need to break someone out of somewhere. Killing and fighting and death. At the moment, I don't have too much enabled to actually show. I have deband on. I have a full mix sharpen, which I set to about 10. So that just helps it pop a little bit. You'll see it when, for example, like the buildings in the background. Just helps it to pop a little bit, and the leaves as well. Quite nice. Then sometimes I'll use direction depth flow. Not really. I use hot sample helper quite a lot. So say for example I do a hot sampling, I'll put this on, and this will be in the middle of the screen, so when it is sized up so I can't actually see, I can still see if my composition is good or not. Luckily they have grids here. I normally use the aspect ratio helper, which is super nice for a game that doesn't have a grid, because you can actually just add the grid overlay, which is luckily I didn't have to use it here. I also use the adapted fog. I've used it quite a few times. As you can see, this is a setting that I've used for some portraits that I did. It normally doesn't look this way. Let me reset. It normally is like that, and you can move it around, but you can change the color of the fog as well and select the fade, etc. I also use chroma key today. You can see also the same black setting, so pretty much use them both for the. But this is what I'm running at the moment. You have trouble with the fog? What kind of trouble do you have with the fog? And then obviously cinematic depth of field, which I always use. Alright, Taddy. See you in a bit, bud.
Thor himself could now drink me.
It doesn't really show on your pics. Do you see it when you're editing, or when you're applying it? Doesn't show at all. Not even when you. All right, you need to check your distance. You'll need to check your curve on that as well. It should work. It might be. It depends on when you want to show it and how, but there always needs to be some kind of light source. Otherwise, you have to crank it a lot. Don't mind me. I'm just a big Viking walking around.
Oh,
Yeah.
You are come. Oh, we would.
I dream.
Alright, hopefully you didn't get anything of the story there. Just that we had to kill someone and we didn't make the choice ourselves. And we chose Valhalla. So those are the choices we made. We don't know what happened because of that. We don't know why. So the story is intact. Let's jump into that right now. Then we'll
Harold's
have a look.
He's already marking his territory.
Marking? Gods, he's spraying like a horny pup.
Harold may be young, but he's clever.
Oh,
Not
we need to get in here.
underestimate him. Came of
Also,
age
those of
very
you that
quickly.
don't know, and this is super cool, at any time during the game, you can switch between male and female. So, for us as virtual photographers, this is awesome, meaning like you can constantly take different photos. You don't have to just be bound to male or female, because in some scenarios, female works better, and in some scenarios, the male will be better. So that's a useful feature. Quite nice. Okay, what am I doing? Find Sigurd.
You there! What are you doing? If you wish to have words, come closer.
No, I'm good. I'm good, dude. Don't worry about me. Alright, before we get into that, let me jump into the photo mode. This is not the best place, but I just want to show you about the fog. Also, like anything in Reshade, dude, just crank those curves until something shows up. Let me see where I am currently. Not curves, adaptive fog. Where are you? There you are. Fog curve at like 1.5. So it's super far back at 0. Then 1.5 it starts becoming visible. Our max factor is normally quite high in the beginning. I like to make it the highest you can, which is like 1 or 1000 in this case, or 1.000, because then you can see where your curve is, and then from there you can drop that. So this is pretty much the opacity of your fog. The max fog factor, that's pretty much your opacity. Your curve is like how hard that opacity, the fade between your fog, and then obviously your start point. Your start point is where the fog starts. Then the curve is like how crazy is your drop off of the density of your fog, pretty much. Let me know if I need to explain that better, because I think I did a really bad job. Alright, so I just want to get past the story part, and then we can actually get onto...
Don't like the way those soldiers watch me.
I find it flattering.
You think one will marry you and carry you off to the capital?
Would he?
He
1
would
in
take
73.
his pleasure and move on, you moonlight magpie, leaving you with a little soldier to race by yourself.
Really? Let me see. Yeah, just bring it down. But where's your fog start point as well? You need to also be aware of your fog start point, because if your fog start point is like super far, then you won't see it. Right. So, like I said, I just want to finish this so we can actually do one boat shot, and then I need to get into some editing, because I think otherwise I'm going to run out of time.
I agree.
It will take time.
If you're good to, and how much will you?
What game is this, Lem? Oh, the lighting is super nice now. Sun just peeking through there. Again, ignore the range. think I had a shot like this already. Definitely not the first time on this setting. Ghost of a tail. Oh. See quickly. I want to see something. Alright, so one thing you should be able to, or you should check, Lem, is when you click on adaptive fog settings, click on edit global preprocessor, and then you will see depth input is reversed. Change it from a 0 to a 1. You can see mine is currently a 1. Try that, and then your adaptive fog should show up. Rufian, what's up? Morning. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Welcome. Give it a shot, Lem, and let me know if that works. That should fix your problem, actually. Okay, so go into Reshade, click on Adaptive Fog, so it's on, then click on Edit Global Preprocessor Definitions. Then you'll see there's 4 options. You're looking for the third one, which is saying Reshade Depth Input is reversed. Change that from a 0 to a 1. Click outside the box so it saves. And then your fog should actually start showing up. If that doesn't work, then I have no idea. But try that. Your cinematic depth of field should work perfectly then as well, by the way. Right, so for those of you that joined, we are busy doing a extra live stream. We tried to collect 1,500 USD. We collected way more. We're trying to collect even more for the kids. The guys have been streaming pretty much 20 hours already, I think. How long is it? 21 hours. I'm finishing off in an hour. Lem will be joining us there and finishing off the last 2 hours. So there it is. How it works? Cool, man.
Eivor, the wind favors us. We should set sail without delay.
You made quick work of packing. Well
You're
done.
learning quick, little grasshopper. Don't
Yes.
worry. Okay. Time to go. Yep.
Sigurd, an axe, nuns might eat it.
You must be his better half. May Agir bless your voyage.
He slept, Lem. I think he did. He actually should be sleeping now. That's why I'm here.
The time for tears is over, you weeping sacks of wool. Put some muscle into those pools.
Ration your strength, dog. We have an ocean to cross.
All right, you lazy backrout. Sigurd, what's our course?
The sons of Ragnar established a settlement near the coast. We set sail for that. Ragi, sing a song to lift our home.
To rouse the gods!
Okay, so this is pretty much what we've been looking for the whole time. Get that nice boat shot. Oh, we have a little bit of a lookout there as well that could add to the composition. So how was that tea? Like, I watched a bit of your stream and you were going crazy about the tea, so I assume it worked, right? Yeah, so you guys wanted to see the water. It's good. The water take is good. I think depth of field is currently on here. Take that off. It's usable. It's just reshades Franz Boma's depth of field is much better. So I'd much rather use that. Yeah, let's keep going for a little bit more.
An ocean lies before us, Eivor, and on its far side, a new kingdom awaits.
You know England well from your travels.
I spent a season in their kingdom of Mercia, a temperate land, lush and wild. By now, the sons of Ragnar will have claimed its heart.
Do we mean to join their army?
They will join ours. In time, all of England will know of Raven Clan and the glory we brought to that fractured land. So to England, glory and destiny!
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe if we go back to one of the little boats in there, but lighting isn't too great right now. Yeah, I can't wait for like proper time of day from France. I assume he's gonna have this for Valhalla as well. I think he did have that for Origins and Odyssey, which helps a lot. Means you don't have to wait like in Watch Dogs. Peace. Okay, so I think that is it for playing Valhalla. I think it's time for us to head into Lightroom, finally. So it took a bit longer to actually get to Lightroom. Before we get there. Let me see. Hey. Gonna load up Lightroom and do a little bit of editing. That's not Lightroom. Slideshow.
As you know, there's been almost a ding-dong thing in this case. They have been appealing and we have been appealing all the time. I don't think it...
Yeah, give me 2 seconds, guys.
It is unprecedented.
Some reason Lightroom
has been pursued in the manner in which
refusing to
has been pursued.
open.
As you know, there's been almost a ding-dong thing in this case. They have been appealing and we have been appealing all the time.
So I am just trying to
I don't think it affects the situation, and it is
see why.
unprecedented that a person has been pursued in the manner in which Zuma has been pursued. As you know, there's been almost a ding-dong thing in this case. They have been appealing and we have been appealing all the time.
Where are you?
I don't think it affects the situation, and it is
Yeah, let me put it on here for now while I quickly sort out.
pursued the manner in which Zuma has been pursued. As you know,
Yeah, if the mask is upside down, you will see the setting above that one. It will say if it is reversed, or upside down. It actually says that. So just change it from 0 to 1. Same.
the manner in which Zuma has been pursued.
So just click on your global settings again. Alright, so should be on now. See. Yes, and we have Lightroom finally. Too long. Okay. So the initial idea was to take some photos and that I've taken before and ones that I haven't edited and then move on to actually edit them. But then obviously I got convinced to rather play some Assassin's Creed. So we're gonna look at the captures that I took and we're gonna try and see if we can actually make something from those. So I am going to import them quick. We are using Lightroom CC. You get Lightroom Classic as well. I prefer to use Lightroom Classic for my in real life shots. But for the purpose of this and for what we're doing, Lightroom CC is perfect. Because you're not working with raw shots, so it's actually perfect for what we're doing right now. What's that game called? Why am I looking for it in Steam? My bad. Game. Watch Dogs. No. Valhalla. Okay, so you drop these in. I'm a CC guy for work and CC. Oh, you're classic for work and CC for VP. Exactly the same, Lem. Same here. Alright, I just want to add this to my edit album. Alright, let's see. These are the ones that yeah, classic is fine for work. Yeah, I have issues with the shot. I'm not too happy with it. This is quite nice. That's better. That's before I actually did some work on it. This is one I want to work on as well. And these are the ones that we took right now. So we had the 16:9 with the 2 settings. So we had a night and a day. So I think I'm gonna try and edit both. Arkham Lover, hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome back. So I will most likely work on these two, and then this dark setting is going to be the same as that one, so we should be able to just copy it, paste it, unless we do any work with our radials and our gradient. So these two bad boys, your line and your radial, your linear and your radial gradients. So I think I'm going to start with the dark one because I like it quite a bit more. Everything away. I'll probably actually start with, we're gonna do the 21:9. Let's do the 16:9 and then we just copy it over. Alright, so these two are actually going to be quite opposite of each other. On the bright one, I'll gladly give up 30 minutes of my time if you want it, Chris. It's up to everyone else. If everyone else wants to have more editing, then we can do that. Let me see how far I get. Let me see how far I get, and then we take it from there. So these two are going to be hand in hand and kind of like opposite. So on this one, I'm going to make the blacks a lot blacker. I'm going to bring the highlights up, push the shadows down, so make them darker. On this one, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to drop the highlights. I'm going to soften the blacks, bring the shadows up, so make the shadows lighter, but then make the highlights not so bright either. So in general, we're going to get way more detail out of all the dark spots we do have over there, for example. Then I'm going to do a contrast. I'm going to do a S-curve, both normal S-curve, so your point curve, and then your Palmer curve as well. So I'm going to do both. So your point and your tone, I'm going to do both. And I'm going to do some clarity, but in general, it's just going to be the opposite of the two. So let me start with this one. We'll do a slight S-curve to start with. So dropping the darks, bring the lights up more. One thing that's nice with this, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to play with our radials and our linear to try and see if we can get that background glow of the fog to pop out, to actually bring the building forward. So what we're going to do then is we're going to put the gradient over, and then we're going to use the eraser tool on the gradient to raise the building, see if that works, to help them make the building pop. So that will be quite nice. I haven't done any cropping. I am going to be slightly cropping this eventually, but I think for now it's fine. I'm just going to work on the comp as it is now. Classic S-curve, exactly. Just give it 2 seconds. I think my Lightroom froze up a little bit. Need to clear out my libraries at some stage. Come on, don't break now. Sometimes it has a bit of a hiccup. There we go, now it's back. So normally I would go lift my shadows, but now I'm actually going to drop my shadows. I see as soon as I pull that to the left, the shadows become darker. But then, like I said before, we want the highlights to come out. So this is the opposite of what I normally do. So now I'll raise a bit of the highlights. I'll also drop the blacks. We keep on getting that. Oh, by the way, I forgot to do this on here. There is a standard vignette in the photo mode. So if you're capturing dark shots or light shots, or shots with some areas, you're going to start seeing that vignette. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind to lower that vignette to standard setting. I've actually seen a few games that comes, Watch Dogs does the same. They also got a standard vignette in there. So you start shooting and you just have a vignette at the sides. You're gonna have to remember to take it off every single time. Raise the whites a little bit. You'll see in my tone curve, I just do a very subtle S. But then if I get to my point curve, I'll probably crank it quite aggressively. I like to start a little bit more aggressive with these, and then I'll tone it down as the edit starts reaching its final points. White balance I'm not going to bother with now. Grading, texture, sharpening, clarity, I'm not going to do anything now. I'm just going to try and get the image to where I want it. So where I want it is, I want this building, whatever building it is, to pop. So I'm using my radial curve, or radial tool. Nice thing about this is it obviously just affects this area, and it also has to do with the feather. So you'll see you pump the exposure, and then if you drop the feather it becomes more solid, or it just feathers out. It's a nice way to emphasize certain points in a photo that you want to do. It's a quick way to do it as well. Obviously I won't do it that much, I'll do it very subtly. When I say subtle, I mean like subtle. I'm also going to play with the dehaze. So the dehaze is normally nice if you want to get rid of stuff like this, right? So you see if I drop it to the other side, obviously to the completely extreme, takes it away. If you start dropping it to the other side, it kind of like starts giving you this bit of a fog effect, which is quite nice. I'm going to try and see if I can use this later, but I need to mask out the building first, because otherwise it looks like the fog is just going absolutely crazy. So if you click, if you click on your radial gradient, press O on your keyboard twice, it will show up as red. Super nice, right? So now you can see it and you're like, ah, cool, I don't really want my... You like to think of it as rehaze. Yeah, exactly, rehaze. So click on your keyboard twice and then it will actually show up. But then you'll see up top, you'll have a brush, which you can add some extra stuff to if you want. Or what we're looking for is the eraser tool. So when you open this for the first time, it will look like this. Well, and you will tell me that, yeah, but your eraser is not working perfectly. As you can see, it's not, because your density and your opacity is probably not set. So what a lot of people don't see is there's a little arrow. That's the arrow you want to click on. As you can see, my flow and my density was 50%. And I had a feather on as well. So the feather, you don't actually have to go here to change. The feather you can change, well, sorry, the feather you can change here. Your size you can scroll with your mouse wheel up and down. But now you see if I erase, something actually happens because of my flow. So the idea here is to roughly get a layout. So you can do this in Photoshop quite easily as well. This doesn't always work. You can actually paint it as well. So instead of using the radial, you can actually just go and paint over the church or the shrine or building, whatever this building is, and you get the same effect as what I'm doing now. Obviously trying to do it quite quickly just to see if it is going to work, because sometimes it doesn't really work. So I'm just trying to see it does. I'm doing a very rough job at it. I press O on my keyboard again. So as you can see now, it might work. So that means we can actually like put more effort into properly mask this out, because that little glow that we put in the background actually helps quite a lot. If we drop it, we bring it back, that little glow does a lot. Where does this part come up in Lightroom CC? What do you mean? What part? The rehaze? Again, this all depends. I mean, this image would have been fine without us doing this. These three options. Sorry, Godric, I think I'm a bit confused. In Classic is actually shown, it should be right about here, right underneath your, in between your curves. That's where you actually see those tools. They have different looking icons, same as this, but it's just going to be rearranged there, well, according to my layout anyways, and then from there you select them in Classic. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on going on with this. Because it kind of looks like it's gonna work. Then again, who knows? So this image would have been fine without that, I think. I don't think we really need this. And it's going to be very subtle. I normally don't go into this much detail, like I always say, when I do my photos. But it's nice to know. It's nice to know what you can get out of a program and which tools to use for what scenario. Okay, I don't want to go into too much here, because this can sometimes take quite long depending on what you pick. So here we did pick something that has a bit more detail. We don't have to be too accurate with it anyways, at least not in the top. The glow is mostly like middle side of the building. This reminds me a lot of the buildings in Angkor Wat. When we went there, similar styling. Yeah, I hit all of this pretty much already. How much time do I have? I would like to see if I can get to a portrait quickly as well, if I have time. That's if my dog doesn't wake up. Because if he wakes up, playtime. You can hear the music. This is when the disco starts. You can do some Photoshop as well. Probably just easier to actually make your mask just with the pen tool. But again, I hardly ever do this. It's disco o'clock, yep. Spotify is telling me like, yep, it's time. Disco playlist is coming right up. I forgot about that one. Yeah, I'm gonna dupe this. Oh, Sorry, my Lightroom is giving me issues. Light this wall. Do a crop. Just want to try and see if I can crop that tree out at the side. We can make it colder, or we can just make it a little bit warmer. Color balance in general. So I would probably spend way more time on this specific image, to be honest. Just to tweak it. Because I would like to get it like a lot more contrasty and darker. It actually ended up becoming quite spooky. That's what we started with. This is where we are now. I think I'm gonna leave this one here for now. This one should be a lot easier to get to as well. So here we're just gonna do the opposite. This one I'm not quite happy with. Some of them work, some of them require a bit more work. I think this one can work eventually. But it will require some effort. So yo Shinobi, what's up? Thank you so much for joining the stream, man. I'm gonna push the contrast a bit. I'm gonna drop the highlights quite aggressively. I'm gonna lift the shadows. I'm gonna drop the whites as well. I'm gonna lift the blacks, just to see once we start adding some exposure and contrast, at least the highlights don't pop out completely. So we're dropping those and we're dropping the whites as well. Classic S-curve. Try and see if we can make some of those details pop. Tones, we can just crush the black slightly. Not that much. I actually want to drop the blacks a little bit. That vignetting is like really irritating me though. You have a guest at home? No worries, but thank you so much for joining regardless, Shinobi. Appreciate it, my man. Probably warm it slightly. Let me see what the auto balance is here. Yeah, so it's warm a bit and then a bit of green. Probably settle for something like that rather, to be honest. So I'm using a linear curve from the top down with a slight underexpose on it, just to see if we can bring this building a little bit more. But then to compensate that, I'll add a bit more contrast, because otherwise we make it too dark, then too bright, then it's just going to blend in with the background, and we don't really want that. And drop the highlights again, and the shadows this time, the whites. Highlights a bit up actually. It's looking better. It's getting there. Getting there. That vignette is really irritating me at the side. Yeah, I don't really like these images that much. They were okay. Not my best captures ever, definitely not. See if there's anything else. Oh, what was that? What was that? Something happened. Someone gave something to someone.
Hey kids, be alright.
Someone donated. I think someone donated something. That's great. Wherever you are, thank you so much. Such a legend. Okay, so I'm actually gonna leave these two for now. I'm not too happy with those. They look a little bit better as what we had before. This is one I captured a little bit earlier. Morning! Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. You doing well? No. Okay, so. Sorry, my Lightroom is keeping on freaking out. For some reason. Seconds, reset edits. Alright. This is an image I captured. Oh, thank you so much for donation. 25 bucks. I couldn't see where it was, so thank you so much for donating. The Witcher vibes. Yes, so this was captured a little bit earlier today in Assassin's Creed. This is captured somewhere in England. I can't remember where. And I really liked the rays that came through. So both these images are quite nice, which I'm super happy with. And it was really the rays in the clouds that like jumped at me when I saw this. It is just before a mission, so I assume all of this was set up. You actually don't see this view. You just behind where that flag is, so just a bit to the right behind there. So this is at least not the view that was catered for you. That's why if you go back too far, like this one for example, you'll see the sun right there, which is actually not that great. It looks now. So how much time do I have? So I have 10 minutes. Let's quickly see if we can make this look a little bit better and try and redeem ourselves, because the previous two didn't work that nicely. Some contrast would be nice here. Drop the highlights because I want to try and emphasize the rays here, but I want to do that manually. Your credit card says no. You know what? It's worth it. I'm having a great time with Valhalla at the moment. I've been spending too much time on it. I've just been getting in trouble with the family. So yeah, I enjoyed Odyssey, but it was just too much for me. Just too much of a grind and too much of a investment to get anywhere. This is still big, but it doesn't feel like I need to give my life to it in order to be able to enjoy it. I still put a lot of hours in, but it doesn't feel like I have to grind for it, which is nice. Alright, so I'm doing slide curves just quickly again. Just to start with. But I don't want to make it too bright because I want to play with the radials and those light rays. I'm going to try and see if I can emphasize that by myself. Whoa, don't do that. Never do that. Alright, so that's the basics done. Let's try and see. I'm going to click on the radial. And I'm going to push that feather up all the way. And I'm kind of going to match the angle that we have here on the ray. So you'll see, if you look closely, that this ray over here is actually running over the fence, where the other ones is bouncing off the side there. And then that one is going through the fence again. So that's what I want to try and emphasize quite a bit. Am I going to play Call of Duty Cold War 2? Yes. I should I should. That was the initial. I do think so, but I can't say 100% yet if it's going to be before launch or once it's out. But I will probably play the. I'll play the story mode. I'll definitely not play the multiplayer. Right. So what I want to do now is I want to tackle those parts first, where you actually get the light that goes over something or just behind something. So we're still going to do a masking here, but we're going to do a bit of an easier mask than we tried doing it a bit earlier. So because this one is not the big bright one in the middle, we can drop the exposure of this one. You might not see now a lot now, but you'll see as soon as I start showing the before and after, you'll actually, whoops, you'll actually see how much of a difference that makes. So this one is super easy because it's literally just blocking out this tower and that ray. So it's a lot easier mask than in the previous one. Still need to be precise here and there at least, but it is easier. So I really like doing this, especially for light rays, because it just emphasizes that effect to the extent that games can't really do yet. I mean, they do it, but it's just not quite there. So I don't try and overdo it. I just try and like see if I can emphasize that effect of the light rays, because it is quite a beautiful effect in photos. So what are we doing on time? Okay, Lem, I'm gonna be done soon, eh? Just gonna do a few more rays and then I can finish in 10 minutes. I'll be done in 10. Definitely be done in 10. Yeah, and that one we can actually... That's the back one, right? Yeah, it should be masked out as well. Or at least that part. So that one can actually stay like that. Alright. Drop my flow. Push up my feather. I'm just gonna actually maul. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next one as well. Obviously, I'm not gonna do it as much. I'm gonna drop this wall quite a bit, make it way smaller. Do some of these top rays. And duplicate this. Next one. Okay, and then we have one more this side, which is quite heavy. But we're not going to do it to that extent. We're going to drop by quite a bit as well. But I just want a point of it going through. So as you can see, the rays are looking cool. They might be a bit too much. So at this point, we'll just start tweaking them back a bit. Okay. Once we have that, looks cool. Getting there. I am going to see if I can do a linear from the bottom, dropping the exposure slightly, pushing the contrast. So what I'm doing with this is I want the two towers in front here to start getting a bit more contrast on them, start standing out. Then the one side is dark, but I really like the contrast between the super light and the dark. I think it's really nice. One thing that I want to try and do, so now that I've done the rays first, I like the smoke that's coming out of this camp, which obviously you can see it's on fire. So I did the rays first because I actually want to see if I could, in that areas, do a radial and then focus that on areas of the smoke coming out, so we can actually, because otherwise we're just going to lose the smoke completely, and I don't want to do that. I want to try and see if we can still retain some elements of that by just dropping the shadows and the exposure slightly. But like, I mean, this is subtle. Like, most people won't even go this far. Again, I don't always go this far either. But I'm in it now, so might as well, right? Okay, so lastly, I think we could push our curves a bit more. Check what the auto white balance is telling us. Yeah, I won't go that orange or like that yellow, but on the right track. Then I really like the red flag, so I think we'll go to our color mixer and I'll push the saturation of the red slightly, also increase the luminance. Do the same on the pink slightly. The green of the grass, so I'll increase the saturation. Nice thing about this is you can actually isolate your colors individually and see where you want your eye to go and what do you want with your color spectrum. What do you want to pop? Do you want to change your tone of your green slightly because it fits better with the blue? So then the blues as well. Always like to just drop the saturation and see how much of that will actually be affected. So that affects more of the grass than anything else, actually, if you see.
Who's got the money now in the country? It's the blacks. The blacks in the whites. The colors, they don't see the colors. Why? All the armed robberies, all the murders. You get affirmative action, you know?
Okay, then lastly, I'm going to do some clarity. I'm going to push clarity up to like 15. Maybe a tiny bit of texture and sharpening. So I normally put my sharpening up till about 10, 13. If you hold Alt in your computer and you click on masking, this allows you to select kind of like a slider as to what do you want to sharpen, instead of just putting a sharpen over everything, because normally you just sharp everything and it's like, yeah, well, we don't really want to do that. We kind of want the bushes in front, but I also want a little bit. Normally I would go like this, like, cool, we just want the front, but I actually want a bit of the smoke in the back as well, just a little bit, not so much. And then
We started first grade together.
same with the radius. Okay, so I think we're almost there. It's pretty much as far as I would go. So it's just doing a slight crop quickly.
Speak like this man before. Ever heard a man speak like this man before? Never heard a man speak like this man before. All the days of my life, ever since I've been born, I never heard a man speak like this man before.
I was one of those kind of guys that I used drugs. I was an alcoholic. I drank alcohol and stuff like that.
Okay. Coming along nicely, Chris. Thanks, man. Yeah, so I think it's almost there. If you see, this is where we started. This is what we're ending up with. And pretty much what I said about those rays. That little slight extra effect with the radiant, with the radial, works quite nicely. So that's where we started. This is where we are. Lost a little bit of detail in the middle there. Due to the gradient. But hey, I think it's alright. And I think that's it. I think that's gonna be us. Is Lem back yet?
And without any talk or anything, he just pulled down his pants
and I think, yeah, that's it. So I'm just waiting for Lem to get back. Guys, thank you so much. It was absolutely awesome. Big thank you to guys at Game Cartographers for letting me join the stream. Really do appreciate it. So stoked that we actually made our goal. You guys rock. Well, I can just hang out for a little bit more. This was awesome. Next up, we have Lem. Lem is going to, I believe he's going to be playing Fortnite, if I'm not mistaken. Going to be playing Fortnite. If you guys still haven't donated, or if you feel lucky and you feel like you have more money to spend, please check the link that Tidy Mice just dropped. The more money we can get in, the better. Again, thank you so much to everyone for donating. We made our goal. But the more money we can get for these guys, the better. It's absolutely amazing that we got the goal. But yeah, the more we can get, the better it is for everyone. And I mean, it's for a good cause. So yeah, everyone else so far, I tried to follow most of the streams today. I couldn't follow everything. I did check the kickoff last night with Lady Snapshot and Fourth Focus. It was cool them chatting about the blogs. Mick's got some cool ideas there. I really liked the idea that he had about almost like a Google Maps but for games with photo spots. Absolutely brilliant. Definitely something we can work with. So as soon as Lem is back, I will sign off. In the meantime, you can probably have that disco that I was talking about, right? Get the disco music on. You see. There we go. Bringing in disco lights and busy fading out. Okay, I pretty much don't have anything else to do anymore. I did promise you a disco. Now we have it. We have a disco. Still waiting for more donations, but the disco is here. Kind of looks like the police is here, but Yeah, it kind of looks like the police is here, not like a disco is here. Disco time. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining the stream. Have you guys heard anything from Lem yet? I think I'm going to sign off and give him 5 minutes to prepare. You guys rock. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, I hope to speak to you guys soon. And it's been absolutely awesome. Looks like you got busted for illegal discoing. Pretty much, yeah. You can't just disco anywhere. Actually, you can disco anywhere in Southeast Asia. They love their karaoke. So, anyways, while the cops are here, I'm gonna have to leave. So, guys, thanks again. I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna leave you with the Be Right Back. Next up, you're gonna see Lem. And yeah, thanks, guys.